on the left side, I'm going to try to get the y by itself to graph it in slope-intercept form. After moving things around a little bit, moving the y and moving the 4x, I get slope-intercept of y equals negative 4x plus 7. Moving things around to get it into slope-intercept form. Trying to get that y by itself, I get y equals negative 4x plus 7. Graphing in slope-intercept form, you have an m and a b. The m is the slope, the b is the y-intercept. So our y-intercept in this case is 7. So I'm going to put a dot on the y-axis at 7. My slope is negative 4. So that means I go down 4 over 1. Or I also can go up 4 and left 1. So there's a couple points that show my slope. Fill out a few more. Is this line dotted or solid when I draw it? Solid, because of the inequality sign having an equal portion on it. Chapter 2 knowledge. Don't shade yet. We're going to decide where we shade, and then we're not going to shade till the end. So we're going to test 0, 0 to see which side of this line would be shaded. When I put in 0, 0 into the original inequality, I get 7 is less than 0. That's false. So our shading is going to be away from 0, 0. And so I do something on my graph to remind myself where the shade would be. So usually I draw a little arrow so I know which side I would shade. I'm not shading yet, though, because I still have to graph another line, and I don't want all this coloring on my graph obscuring what I'm doing. And I don't even know where the shade's going to be for sure yet. You could also put an X on the side that you would shade if you don't like a little arrow. Now let's move to the other line. I'm going to use intercepts for this one because it's in standard form. The x-intercept, negative 3x equals 12. That means the x-intercept is negative 4. Okay, we've done a bunch of these, kids. Y-intercept, 5y equals 12. 12 fifths, that's 2.4. So the y-intercept is 2.4. You can either set down a straight edge and draw your line, or what I would do in this case is find the slope using opposite of a over b and draw a few more points. That's 3 fifths, and so I'd go up 3 over 5 and draw some more points. This line is dotted because of the inequality sign. Looks like that. Now we need to decide where this line should be shaded. Testing 0, 0. We get 0 is greater than 12. That's false. So in this case, we would shade away from 0, 0, which would be above that line. Now we're ready to shade. Our final shade is going to be to the right of the solid line and above the dotted line. But it has to be both. To the right of the solid line and above the dotted line. And the only area that fits both of those is that area up there. That peach area. Those are the points that are true in both inequalities. Remember, our grand plan all through the year is to find the mystery points that work. You've just shown me a picture of them. Those are the points that are true in both inequalities. On the left, we have a line that only has one letter. And on the right, we have one that looks kind of simple. Sometimes the simplest ones end up being the most complicated. Y is greater than 3 and y plus x is greater than 2. Here's one way to look at the lines that have only one letter. If you do intercepts, the y-intercept is 3. So you put a dot on the y-axis at 3. It does not have an x, which means it will not hit the x. So you draw a line that does not hit the x-axis. Where's that line going to go? Horizontal and dotted. If it does not have an x, it does not hit the x. If it does not have a y, it does not hit the y. Okay? So that's one way to graph those lines. We need to test 0, which only 1 because there's only one letter, to see if it is true or false. When we put in 0, we get 0 is greater than 3. That is false. So we would shade above. On the right side, you can either find intercepts really quickly, x-intercept 2, y-intercept 2, boom, done. Or you can put it in slope-intercept form just by subtracting the x to the other side, whichever one is your favorite. I have slope-intercept written up on the board. The y-intercept is 2. The slope is -1. So you're going down 1 over 1. Or I sometimes, to make it quicker, would go down 2 over 2, just to speed things up a little bit. Or you can go down 4 over 4. That's still a slope of -1. And that line is also dotted. The more you practice, the better you will be. The less you practice, the worse you will be. Testing 0, 0 for the line on the right, we get 0 is greater than 2. 0 bigger than 2? No. So 0, 0 is a bad point, so we shade away from it. So we're shading above the line, away from 0, 0. So our final shade, right, is above both lines, which is that area right there.